Let the fun begin. What's up, y'all? I guess a few of y'all will be coming in. Maybe. We'll see how it goes. Um, Boy, it's been a minute. Been a couple of weeks, I think. I can't remember when the last live was, other than at SEMA. Whew, what a trip! What a trip SEMA was. I won't talk too much about that just yet. Let's talk about what I'm doing today because SEMA does tie into it a little bit. It ties into it a little bit. But what I have here is the E92 M3. If you're new to the channel, this is the channel car 2012 BMW M3. This is another channel car. It is the 2020 Stelvio Quadrifoglio. So we'll get more into that in another live episode. I've got some things to do to it as well. But this is the car. This is the car that took me on the journey from here in Texas all the way to Las Vegas, Nevada, and a little further west, which that video is to drop or is the next video to drop for the channel. So you'll be able to see what happened on that trip. But today, what I'm doing is I do need to do the oil change. I meant to do it a lot sooner than now, but this was a good time to go ahead and do it and kind of share the updates on what's happening with the car and how everything turned out with the trip and a little bit more feedback on how I feel about the trip because the trip was in retrospect, it made me think about the year. It made me think about a lot of things that has happened because here we are in December of 2024. And hopefully, for a lot of you, like myself, you got a lot of stuff done this year. You got a lot of things accomplished. And along the way, we should be counting all of those wins. But if you haven't counted those wins yet, definitely you should be doing it now, looking back over the year, as you hopefully have made plans for 2025. Um, but with that said, there's a lot of times that we miss some opportunities. And a lot of it is just because we don't give ourselves permission and we make up all the excuses as to why we can't. And I'm not going to lie, this right here, this project set in perspective the thing for me that said, look, bro, you have all the excuses in the world why you think you can't work on your own car or can't do the rod bearings, which was a very, very involved job. And at the end of the day, if I didn't get it right, that trip to Vegas would have been pretty catastrophic. Like this thing would probably be the engine dropped in the whole 9 yards. But with that said, I'm going to get into doing the oil change. Let me talk about some of the things that takes place with this. It's very simple. If you've done an oil change, it's not the hardest thing in the world. If you've never done an oil change, maybe this is informative for you. So right now, I've got the main things I really need. Coffee. No, for real. I got my coffee and my water, but hey, that's neither here nor there. But for real, I've got the oil that's going to go in. This is a 10W60 weight. That's for the S65 engine. Here is the oil filter that is going to get changed out. There's the main filter. Now, the key with this one is you do have a couple of O-rings. You got the main O-ring that goes around the housing. There's another small O-ring that goes at the base or tip of, I guess, the spindle that the filter sits on. And then we've got a couple of washers. And we need that because this oil pan, or when you drain the oil out of this engine, there's actually two spots. There's a sump, and then there's a portion where the wet sump, and then there's a portion where the rest of the oil sits in the pan. So I'll just sit that there for now. And then I've got oil. I got BMW oil, which is the rest of that, about 9 liters or so. Normally I have another brand, Liqui Moly. This is just what I went with because I bought it before I left to go to Vegas. I have it on hand, so I'm just going to use it. But I also have here some engine flush. This helps remove a lot of the gunk and junk, which is what I want to make sure I remove, having done the rod bearings already. And then this is some MOS2 and a friction, anti-friction that will go into the engine before, or well, I guess after I'm doing putting the rest of the new oil in. All right, what's up, y'all? I see some folks in here. I got Swole55. What's up, bro? Always good to see you, brother. Man, this man be blessing my life. Uh, just checking in on me and sharing, the different wins in life that's happening, and we were talking some good stuff, man. That's what's up. Let's see here, Cerakote. What's my thoughts on Cerakote? I'm gonna answer that in just a second. We got Riyadh, if that's how I'm saying that right. Rev My Engine is not what I'm gonna do right now because I just finished letting this engine run just warm enough to get the oil circulating. This engine flush let me turn this around. This engine flush is what I just put in the engine. So this is definitely not a moment where I'm about to rev the engine. Hang around long enough after I get everything taken care of. I'll give you some revs. So hopefully I'll see you here toward the end. All right. So let's see. What are my thoughts on Cerakote? I've not used Cerakote, but I've heard good things about Cerakote. And actually, when I was at SEMA, I talked to Liquid Miley Reps. And if you remember let me see, I think I got some in here. Yep. Oh no, this is Speed Tech. This is actually what I was looking for on the road. I should have had that with me, but I didn't. Let me see if I don't have any in there. Let's see if it's back here. I should. Uh, where are you? I got all this stuff back here. All right. I don't know if I should have, there we go. I'm gonna say I should have a couple of them. All right, Jectron. So this is what I got when I was on the road. Now, my thought process was that it was going to help keep the engine clean because as you get further west, you don't have 93 octane, which is what I put in this fuel, or the fuel that I use that I put in this M3. Boy, hey, don't mind me when I get to mixing up words. Just roll with me. Just roll with me. So so I put this in. That's not an octane booster by no means. I think that Jectron, or excuse me, I think the Speed Tech is, what is this? This is not I don't think this is so much of an octane booster either. I can't remember what this is for, but it's basically to do something to help you have some better acceleration in the car. But with that said, the gentleman told me, he said, no, he said, you have direct injection. He said, this is not formulated for a direct injection engine. It should be the DI Jectron. So there's a D, a letter D, and an I, and I want to say hyphen in front of Jectron. So that's the one that we should be using. So I won't be using that anymore, but the DI Jectron is the one to use. So that's what I was using just to try to help keep the engine as clean as possible, the fuel as clean as possible, and I guess as potent as possible so that I could, you know, have some good gas mileage while I was on the road. All right, so let's get into this thing, man. Let's get the oil change because I don't want the engine to get cool on me while I'm doing all this talking because I am going to talk a little bit. So let's get this popped off. Put you over here. All right, and I've got what? Timer's going off for some reason. All right, so I'm going to get set up on this tripod a little bit. So I'm going to take this. I got to take the oil, this little cap off of this oil filter out. So I'm going to do that first, but I got to pop this little cap first. Got to go but under here, and this thing's already a little brittle. Let's see. Are you gonna Are you gonna play nice and come up? There we go. It played nice. I actually got to replace it because one of these broke off. So, oh well, it still does the job. I think the whole thing for this is to keep this thing from rotating. So maybe this isn't doing the job because it's not locking nothing down. Well, you know what? Hold on. It's sitting right here, and then at a certain point, yeah, it is going to stop it from spinning. So yeah, it's doing its job, but it's not 100%. All right. Now, the main guy I've got here is this 36 mil socket. Boom, goes right over the top. I'm just going to loosen this up like so. All right, I'm not going to pull that up and out just yet because I don't want any oil to come flowing over. So I'll go ahead and stick this around here. But for now, I need to get under the bottom side of the car. And we're going to use this guy right here. It's a 6 hex. All right, let me pop this out. A little bit of gyration going on here for y'all. Just a little bit. All right. Oh, we under the top. Under the. Oh my God, I can't talk, man. We are under the bottom. And I'm getting ready to pull this out. Let's loosen this up. Now I'm doing this with one hand. Let's see how good I am. I might not need to do that. Let's see. Hold on. Tell you what. All right. Can you see right there? Yep. All right. So I get it just loose enough to where I can. There we go. And I'm going to do this from back here too. You won't see this, but you might hear it. There we go. All right. So now I can loosen this by hand and have this in better position. I need this to come off. Adding ingredients and Molly versus gum out. You won't find how to concentrate and gum out. Okay. And you're speaking of high concentrate of what? High speed, low drag. What are we talking about? It's a higher concentration of what? I'll definitely check that out. And are we talking about the fuel injector cleaner? Let me know if that's what you're talking about. Okay. The oil. Man, that looks pretty good. Now, of course, it is not yellow like it was when it went in, but it's you can kind of see through it. It's got some translucent properties because ain't nothing transparent about it, but it got some translucent properties. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, man, oil looks real good, bro. That's not bad. And remember, you and I talked because I was supposed to knock this out on the road, but I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna keep it moving. All right. Wait till I get here because doing this on the side of the road or at the in the parking lot up in advance or whatever, I was like, nah, I'll uh I'll opt out. I'll opt out to do that. So here we are. In the comfort of my own garage. Garage. Yeah, I said garage. Oh boy. Hey. Man, that looks so good. It looks cherry like. It's got like a cherry tint to it. I'm probably making stuff up. Y'all don't mind me. I does that. Swole will tell you. I does that. I'm making my own little stuff. I have fun with life, man. That's it. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. That's what it's about at the end of the day. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that. Oh, let me leave these here. And I think is the O-ring still stuck up there? I don't see it unless it came out in here. Well, we'll see. There's the O-ring down. That one's sitting right there. All right. We'll find it shortly. But anyway, let me wipe my hands off here. Wipe the oil off of this. Pull that oil filter. Yep, I got two plugs. That front one, the one closer to the front, is this one right here. The first one I unplugged. This one, that's the oil sump. So there's a wet sump that's sitting up there. So remember, if you remember the video where I put the bottom end back together, when I put those oil lines back in, those connected to the sump. That connected to the oil sump. So yeah, there's a whole pump that circulates the oil and does all that stuff, and then that's the main plug for the oil pan right there. Oh, that's why when you get your filter kit, I was saying that in the beginning. When you get this kit, you know, any of those, any of you that has two plugs on your car, whether you have a E92 M3 or not, just make sure it comes with two washers, because I have bought this before, like early years, and it only had one. So now, anytime I buy this, I inspect it right out the gate and make sure it's got it before I leave to go anywhere. All right, now, and of course, I do want to talk a little bit about the other part of the conversation. Don't mind me while I'm trying to get my act together. Trying to get my life together. All right, so we got this now. Now I am going to need to put, I am going to need to put y'all up here. And put y'all right there. Right there, if you don't mind. Do y'all mind? Hopefully you don't. And I guess if you do, you're going for a little ride. Not a long one, but you're just going to hang tight. All right, I need you to stay there. All right. Waiting on my filter and crush washer. Yep. Stick a shot vac hole, oil filtered in. Never spill a drop. Okay, it's all good. I ain't worried about spilling a drop. I ain't worried about that. I had already unseated it. So the laws of physics is what controls that. It doesn't have to be all the way out in order for the oil to drain freely. It just needs to be it just needs to drain free. I mean, it just needs to be unseated so that air can escape. All right, where's my other towel? That's why that towel is there, so it can catch the oil that just came out, which it did. All right, come on up. Sometimes the filter will come up with it. Sometimes it doesn't. Depends on how long it's been in there. So the good sign is, you know, it hasn't been in there that long or too long if this stays in. If it's stuck to this, most cases it's been in there a long time. Of course, the filter looks pretty good. It's only been in there 1,000 or so miles. So it's not bad. Not bad at all. What we got in here? No metal, of course. Don't want that. All right, looking good to me. Looking good to me. Let me put it down under here. Okay. Cool. Now, to the point about the oil in the, I need another towel. My hands are oily. To the point of the extra oil that's sitting in there, you can use a couple of different things. You can use it like a little baster. You can use a little a pump to pour that out if you want to. I just typically take my couple of towels, go in, dunk it, pull it out. Again, it's going to end up sitting right in there with the rest of the oil. Now, here's the other catch to that, and that's why this job doesn't have to be super duper perfect by no means. So don't get it twisted. You're not going to get every drop of oil out of this car. So I don't know if I really showed that in the video where I was putting the car back together. There was so much oil in that pan when I dropped it and then had to clean it. That's the oil that sits in the pan that's going to be sitting in the pan right now. You're not getting that oil out unless you drop the pan. So if you think you're getting every drop of oil by getting the oil out of this the oil filter housing, you're not. You might get all the oil out of that, which is cool, but you're not getting all the oil out of the system because there's number one, there's still so much oil lubricating the system. The con rods, the rod bearings, and the crankshaft, like everything, it still has oil. Because this car sat for as long as it did, I actually allowed for another probably like 3/4 of a liter to drain from this engine for for me to have to add a little bit more oil to even get it to register when I button everything back up. So those 9 liters that it normally takes, like the 8.5 or almost 9 that it takes, and then you get a reading, like a low reading, then you got to top it off. I couldn't even get that without putting in almost 10 liters of oil. So that should tell you how much oil this system actually holds. That doesn't come out when you do the regular oil change. All right, so back to me just doing this. Let me see how it looks under here. All right, it's flowing pretty freely. It's pretty much about done. I'm going to be buttoning that back up here in a moment. But uh, here's what I want to do. I want to share just a little bit of, let me move this out of the way here. Come back a little bit. Let me pull this up a little bit so I can talk to you, because one of the biggest lessons learned for the year for me, I hope y'all can see me. One of the biggest lessons learned for me this year is that all of the things that I wanted to do and was able to do is because I realized I had run out of excuses. I literally had run out of excuses on why I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. I really had. Um, this year, I got the opportunity to um, make my first short film. I got the opportunity to work, not just volunteer or go to South by Southwest, but I actually got a chance to be a theater manager and work at South by Southwest. In fact, I just got an email from one of the supervisors or managers, directors, whoever she is, um, asking about coming back in 2025. Let me get my pick tool. I need to go ahead and pick this off. All right, I got it. Sorry about that. I remembered I needed it and forgot to get it. But I had that opportunity this year to do that. I filmed I had some opportunities to film with an exotic car group with a lot of different events, a lot of exclusive events this year. Some of it was public, some of it was private. And man, the Nilu, I don't know if you've heard that brand already, Nilu. The guy, Sasha, I can't remember his last name. Sasha, I can't think of his name, but he is the designer of some of the well-known Koenigseggs, Porsches, Lamborghinis, um, a bunch of different cars through the years. He's the designer of some of the cars that we absolutely love. And he released or unveiled, it wasn't a fixed physical car, but he unveiled a video of his car that he created, and so to have the opportunity to do that was pretty cool. Then just doing this stuff right here on the channel. Let me see what you guys are saying, because I want to make sure. Sasha Cornberry. Uh, the last part doesn't ring a bell for me, but either way, it's definitely Sasha. But yeah, yeah, that's the guy. But yeah, to that point, I don't want to get lost in translation here, but to that point, having those different opportunities was just me getting out of my own way and not having any more excuses, because I had the equipment. Um, I've been doing this for 5 years, just doing cinematic videos and being around. I've had the opportunity to work with music artists and entertainers, and I've been a content creator for other YouTubers that you guys know. I've done some of their content, had the chance to work with them, and yes, automotive YouTubers that you definitely know. That's all I will say. I've had that opportunity, and then to follow it up with missing. I did miss some opportunities as well, but it wasn't because I didn't try, and it wasn't because it just was because it wasn't my time. It wasn't for me. It was for somebody else, and those were opportunities to kind of learn from that too. But the other big part was just realizing the wins that I did have, and then realizing those wins. It was just like, bro, like you didn't make that happen without getting out of your own way. You didn't make that happen without taking a chance. Working on this car, tearing this thing down, this thing sitting up on jack stands for months, ordering parts, breaking stuff. Um, that it happens. It happens. If anybody tells you that they've done anything and it worked out perfect every single time, boy, they are super lucky, or they are lying. Because in my life, 47 years old, I just hit 47 July. Excuse me, in November 17th. Um, in my 47 years, I've not done many things that just went absolutely flawlessly in one shot. There's I probably can count on one hand, one finger, two fingers, maybe three of those times where it just everything happened magically the way it happened. And it wasn't because I was always prepared. It wasn't because of um I don't know. I don't even I guess it was just being in the right place at the right time and just having the right thing. And well, maybe that is being prepared. Maybe that is being prepared, but also having some experience um in just I don't know. The best thing I could say is just being willing to dare to try, being willing to dare to try. So, being willing to dare to try to work on this car that I at first felt like I was out of my league. I felt like I was out of my league. And I was even scared to get under the car. I got this thing that like claustrophobia happens sometimes. So getting under this car, I was like, man, forget that. Can't do it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I got to get under this car. Nobody has that luck. I feel you, bro. I feel you. I feel you. Holy cow. Holy cow. All right, let me put this stuff down. Let me get the O-rings on. And I want to move forward with uh, plugging this up. But hey, I ask you, like, what are some, let me turn this around real quick. But I do want to ask you, have you looked over your year? Have you looked over the past 40, what is it, 46 weeks? Was it 52 weeks of the year? 46, 47 weeks. Have you looked over, those last weeks? Have you checked off the wins? Because we see some of these wins as small, but they're huge because they are the wins that set us up to be in position for the thing that we see as a huge thing. I was thinking about this the other day, skipping rocks at the lake. You know, I was walking through the park and I picked up a rock. Now I'm just in the park. I wasn't near a lake or stream or nothing like that. But I thought about, when I was in the Midwest and I would throw rocks at the lake. across Lake Michigan and to watch it skip and then watch the ripples and just thinking like those little ripples don't affect anything but just the surface or just the fact that they were some ripples that I could see. But we never think about the fact that they do affect what's happening in the water collectively. It just is because we don't see it, because we don't know that was the outcome. Those little ripples do disturb or do something with the water that affects what's in the water, the fish that's in the water, the life that's in the water. Um, I don't know what it does further down the road and the next wave that comes when you're out surfing. It's like for real, for real. We don't think about these little small details that they do affect the bigger picture. But like I said, have you taken a look over your year to see what were your small wins or what were your wins, no matter how small they were and no matter how big they were? If you haven't done that yet, I highly encourage you to do that. Those are the things over the years that has allowed for me to have more successes than failures or lessons learned. I think they're all lessons learned, whether you win or whether you feel like you fail. But I've had more wins, more successes than looking back and thinking about the things that I failed at or where I messed up. I spend more time thinking about whether the situation is what I feel is good or bad or indifferent, taking the opportunity to look at the positive in it because lights don't happen. You can be at a red light and get, somebody run into you from behind. I had that happen, sitting at a red light, the green light for the green arrow changed and they took off as if our light changed and it didn't. Rear-ended my E46 M3. I was hot. I was upset. But at the end of the day, it's happened. It's over. It's done with. Is there anything I could have done to prevent it? Absolutely not. I could think about, oh man, I should have stayed at the store longer, or maybe if I got in the other lane, or maybe all the different things. We don't know what's going to happen, but it happens. Now, could I have gotten out the car, cussed the lady out, and all the things that I could have felt like I should have done? Of course I could have. But what does that do for me? That's not the type of person I am. I don't really let those type of things bother me. I try to find the positive in it and just keep moving forward. And there's really no positive in it, at least not in the moment, until I started shopping for parts, until I started shopping for the carbon fiber CSL trunk that I bought for it, that um, the insurance company paid for. Now, and the CSL diffuser that they paid for. So at the end of the day, I was like, man, these were mods that I wanted to do anyway. Now this was the perfect opportunity to do it. So there was a win out of it in the midst of some calamity of what I felt was perceived disaster. It's a car. You can fix it. And even if I couldn't fix it, you buy another one. You get something different. Find the positivity in things. Don't dwell on the negative so long. And I'm not saying don't allow for the things to sit. Just don't let it fester. Because those things do teach us about ourselves and how we respond and the things we need to do to change how we ourselves individually respond to things, respond to adversity that makes us a better person. Learn the lesson in it and keep moving. What does it do to complain about every single thing all the time? Absolutely nothing. It gets you nowhere. All right. I have, Swole says, I am more wins than L's, and I've been able to learn from the L's uh, that I've tried. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, they're just perceived losses. Everything is a lesson learned. Even when we win, when I looked at the trip to SEMA, I was like, man, let me get back to doing this car though. Let me turn this around. When I when I started thinking about SEMA, I was like thinking about the weeks that led up to it. I had to remember that was a whole like 5, 6 months. Like there was a whole process that there was a whole thought process that went into that. There was planning that went into that. I had to plan out my finances to buy the parts. This is the most money I ever spent on a bill ever. And this is the first time I've really ever done a bill. Like all the cars, like including this one, all the cars that I've owned, I bought them for the most part how I wanted them to come. Like I didn't settle for things. I didn't settle for less. Now there were some amenities that I learned throughout the years, like even with the E46 M3, or I'm sorry, the E46 330 Ci. I bought it. I didn't get cold. I don't think I bought cold weather gear. I mean, cold weather gear. I'm thinking about being out in the field. I didn't buy, I didn't buy the cold weather package. That's what BMW offers with the heated seats and the heated steering wheel, stuff like that. It didn't come on the first car I had, and I was in the Midwest. I was stationed in Great Lakes, where it snows and it gets sub-zero, and I didn't have that. And I was like, well, next time I'm gonna make sure I got uh, the the cold weather package. And then the E46 M3, I did. It had the cold weather package. But like I said, other than those types of things, I haven't settled for the things that I really wanted in the car that I really wanted. So this was the first bill where I really went above and beyond and spent. It's seated now. Uh, and spent that kind of money upgrading parts on a car because it has driven fine the way it was built from the factory. So I was good. But yeah, to sit and plan and do all the things, that took a few weeks to a month to see what it was I was about to spend, the travel, gas, food, lodging, um, all of the things, all of the things. So it was more than just a couple of weeks. It was actually months of planning. So when I really thought about that, I was like, bro, like you really did your thing. You took some time because I rush things. That's the problem with me sometimes, and I'm getting better. But I rush things. I don't take. I tend not to. Um, it was easier for me to try to rush through the process. That was like even making content too. Like I'm making content and I want to rush and get it out instead of making sure that it's got the things in it that I want for it to have the quality that I want it to have. Regardless of what it does with views, if at the end of the day I'm happy about it, I'm good. The SEMA video that's out now, it didn't do the views I thought or wanted to do, but I do understand. I understand the timing of getting that type of video out. But I understood how tired I was. I understood the other things that needed to take place once I got back, and I took my time. I took my time at the sacrifice of whether that video did as well as the previous two videos. But at the end of the day, I'm okay. The energy, the effort, the quality, and everything that I put in it is absolutely what I wanted to put in it. So the result of the video speaks for itself. The views, all that stuff, I can't control that. I can't control that. Not at all. Rick Rubin says it in his book. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the book that has the target, like the bullseye that's on it, the black bullseye. Um, he basically says that you are in control of how you associate or what you bring to the art that it is that you create. Everything else you have no control over. I can't control how people resonate or don't resonate with the content that I make. But at the end of the day, if what I made, I put my experience, I put how it resonates with me and send the message out that I'm sending, at the end of the day, I'm good. I'm good. I am good. That's where you should be. You should be getting yourself in a place where you're good. You're absolutely astonishing yourself at the strides, the positive strides you're making to become a better version of yourself. It's about us individually doing our best work for ourselves to be our best self so that collectively we as human beings win. If you're doing your part to be a better version of you, like making sure you're being a better version of you for you. I'm doing my part to be a better version of me, to show up for me, to be that best self, to live the life that I want to live. You live the life that you want to live, that you feel like you deserve to live. When we see each other, we respect the fact that we're doing our best work for ourselves. That way, you see that we're doing the best work for ourselves, and I respect you for the work that you're doing for yourself. And we actually are able to coexist because I can empathize with the areas that you fell short in, and you empathize with me with the areas I fell short in. That's how it's supposed to work. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way because when a person hasn't learned to live for themselves and be their best self, they look for the faults in everybody else so they can deflect where they come up short. If I stop worried about you and trying to tear you down and trying to find the negative in everything that you do, that means I'm working on me. I ain't got time to be looking at what you're doing negatively. I'm not going to put myself in position to be around that at all. I will remove myself. If I can't remove you, I'll remove me from you. How about that? I couldn't remove the Navy out of my life except to remove myself from the Navy. There we go. I just had to say that. I don't went on a little rant. I get a little bit more oil that's come out on the bottom end. I need to torque this down before I mess around and forget to do that. But let me see what you all are saying in the comments. Uh, learn. Yep. What car did you have? Which one SUV? Oh, he's talking to, okay, talking to Swole about his X5. I'm assuming that's what we're talking about. Mm, mm, mm. All right, let me torque this down. So I need my. I'm gonna use the. I'm gonna use the electronic one. I like my. Actually, I like just my manual ones, but I'll use this. We'll put it to use. Is it gonna make me? Okay, good. Function. That's what I was trying to avoid. If you put it, if it hits the angle or degrees, you have to put it in the case, which I'm going to have to put it on the floor so it zeroes out. All right, if that takes too long, I'm going to move to the manual one. Huh. All right, let's reposition. All right, that's weird. Holy cow. Okay, there we go. Man, I don't know what that was about. All right, let's move this pick tool. All right, so we're not doing degrees. Newton meters is 40 newton meters. Boom, there we go. Beautiful part about this is a 3/8. So, pop it on there. There we go. There we go. Done. Now, that is one thing about the electronic one. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, man. Okay. So now, I feel like I done got lost in the sauce with y'all, so my apologies. If me going on a rant had you all feeling like, hey, bro, I need you to change the oil. Stop talking. I hope you didn't say that for real. Oh, man. Hey, don't mind me. I like to joke. I like to joke. I like to have fun. All right. So let's get on under here. Let's get these crush washers. on. All right, let's slide this over a bit. Do I have any? Ooh, are you gonna sit? Nope. All right, so I'm gonna have to hold it. We're doing one hand here. All right. Oh, yeah, there's a crux. There it is right there. All the oil had it covered. All right, so that's the old one off the back. That's the old one off the front. All right, we are good. All right, so now fresh to death. All right, now, oh, you know what I need? I need my 6. Let's get the 6. I can't do nothing without it. There it is. There it is. All right, now put you on here. Actually, you take this off. I can do it by hand. Come back. All right, now I need a towel. I forgot about that. Let me just grab one of these. You know, you got to have some shop towels. Got to keep those. Got to keep those. All right. Now, I ain't used to doing this with one hand, y'all, so don't mind me too much. Why did I do that? Put it right here. Don't mind me too much. I'm trying to one hand job this. Okay, so I guess I'll go that way. I guess I'm rotating a little bit too much. It thinks I'm wanting to go horizontal. I'm trying to stay vertical. There we go. All right, that's up. And I'll worry about wiping this stuff off shortly. That does not bother me at all. That is a little, some oil. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to have to put you. Okay, sorry about that. I hit the power button. Okay, there we go. And all right, that is now up. Okay, now you out of the way. Come on. Wipe this real quick. Right under here real quick. Let's get this thing cinched down. Now this, I've done this a million times. So as far as the torque spec, it's going to be, oh, come on. Oh, yeah, about that much. Yep, torqued it down to AB Newton meters. Let's go here and click it. All right, I think we're good. Let me just double check. Yep, we clicked it. And click it. There we go. AB torque specs all day long. Oh my goodness. Sheesh. All right, what I don't like that I see in here, looks like a rock has penetrated this cooler. Dang, that sucks. I'm gonna need to put a screen up here. That's what I'm gonna do. I need to put a screen up here. We good over there. We got this right here. Yeah, we're gonna put a screen. I'm gonna have to go ahead and work that back out. Work that back out. Stelvio, yep. Stelvio QV. That's it. That's the other channel card right here. If you know anything about those, you know it's fast. That's all I'm gonna tell you. If you see me at a stoplight, don't think this is just a mom mobile. You will find out that is not. That it is not. All right, so we now have, put this down. All right. Let me just make sure. I got to go and review. I took care of the plugs. The oil is drained. I'm getting ready to pull that out from under there. And filter is in, locked down. All right. Pull this back off. And that's actually what I completely forgot, y'all. Now this, I didn't open that up. Normally that's open. All right, I think my AirPods are dying. So I'm gonna have to go off. Where's my case in here charging? All right, I'll take y'all inside for a second. Into the studio I go. All right, gotta get my AirPod case. Okay, so I'm gonna be. Ooh, I hope this don't mess up anything. Get in advance the way it sounds. Let me know if y'all can still hear me, cause that's get my shoes back on. Hopefully, the sound isn't too bad. Okay, back out. What was I doing? Oh, I took the cap off, and I did realize I didn't have the cap fully off before finishing draining, but it's okay. It's okay. All right, so what is going to go in here now is some MS2 anti-friction. So that's going to go in here. I've been using, let me just tell you, I've been using liquid moly products since I've owned my first BMW. So the E46 330 Ci, 2001, I started using liquid moly products. And that's just what I have lived by. I have used, like in this particular case, I have run the actual oil. I believe, if I remember, Pennzoil is the manufacturer of BMW's oil now. It used to be Castrol, but now it's Pennzoil. Pennzoil is owned by Shell, if I remember that correctly, or partner companies or something to that effect. But Shell and Pennzoil, I believe, are under the same parent company. I want to say Shell is it. So with that said, yeah, I have used liquid moly products for a long time, and yeah, I am rocking the liquid moly hat. Copped that at SEMA, so shout out to y'all. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay, so that's getting ready to go in here right now. I'm going to actually let me put this back up. I assume that I sound okay. No one has said they can't really hear me, so I want to move you over a little bit. Yeah, let's move you over here. There we go. All right. So we're going to get this in here. Hopefully I don't need a funnel. There we go. Now this stuff is gray in color. Yeah, come on now. Can y'all see me? Let me pull back some. I don't know if y'all can really see me that well. I'm tripping. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm doing all this talking kind of like off camera, so my bad. I got to get used to this, especially doing vertical lives versus doing the regular horizontal. All right, so this is gray in color. We're going in. See how steady my hands are? There it is. Just leave that there to maybe. Maybe that'll drain a little bit more out. And get ready to add lots of oil. Got lots of oil coming. So, but as I was saying, yeah, I have used liquid moly products for a long time. I feel, look, I am no chemist. I don't know what all goes in here and what what these chemicals are and do. I do my homework and I go from there. So, um, but from what I can tell over the years of using this, I feel, this is just me, I feel that this has been the thing that has prolonged the life of this engine. We're now at over 177,000 miles. It was 174, over 174 at the time I did rod bearings, and that was original rod bearings. Yes, original rod bearings. I talked to the dealership where this car was maintained in San Antonio, and they confirmed that it was original rod bearings. I think I'm gonna put let me see if my AirPods are charged up enough. It don't take long. I'm kind of standing away from the camera, so I want to make sure y'all hear me, man. Make sure y'all hear me. Okay. Is that better? Can someone confirm? Swole, if you're still in here, can you confirm that is that any better? I hope it is. Hope that it is. All right, I'm gonna keep it moving. I just like when I walk away from the camera, the audio it should be consistent and good. All right, let's pop the oil off. Pop the foil off the oil and get some oil in here. All right, what else y'all got, man? Anybody got anything to share? What's coming up for the holiday? Like any major things happening for the holidays? Anybody going anywhere specific? Anybody going anywhere fun, warm, tropical? Where's everybody going? Because I'm gonna tell you now, I ain't gonna bore y'all with me just pouring oil in here. I just share a little bit more about self, and then I'm gonna close this out. But what I can say is, actually, while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna have it on me, and then I'll close this out. But what I can say is, it has been. Sorry about that. It is again. Christ is King. Again, it has been a beautiful year. It's been beautiful in the sense of lots of wins, lots of lessons learned because of jumping, because of taking chances, because of not taking no for an answer. Some things just wasn't the right time. It just was not for me, and that's okay. That is okay. Some things just didn't work out. Like some of the shows and things that I was trying to get to just didn't work out. But SEMA wasn't necessarily on the radar until those things did not work out. Doing this challenge and this was a challenge basically for me, doing this challenge of doing my own rod bearings in my garage on the floor, on the ground of the garage, with just on jack stands, no lift, no nothing. That was a challenge. But I accepted, and it became more than just doing the rod bearings. It became more than just a trip to SEMA. There's a lot of things that happen in between that, people that I talked to, um, things that happen during SEMA, after SEMA, that just would not have happened without taking that leap of faith, taking that chance. So, again, if you haven't looked back over your year, I highly encourage you to do so. Look at your lessons learned, look at the wins, look at how that happened, because it wasn't just the moment of the win that happened, it's all the things that led up to it. And all the things that led up to it weren't just in this year. Everything that led up to, not everything, but a lot of what led up to this year was planning. The planning that happened in 2023, the big audacious goals, ideas, and dreams that I had in 2023 about 2024 2025 and 2026. So everything that's happening right now is for a greater goal, a greater vision that that is to come into fruition, God willing, in 2026. So I'm just taking everything in stride and making it happen, and have made it happen here in 2024. But it's not just taking it day by day. There are some plans that go into it. There are some things again that doesn't happen the way you want it to happen. That's all by design, though. It's all by design. If you look at life as a huge test to see how you're going to react in every situation, how you respond in every situation, how you overcome every situation, how you celebrate every situation, and how you share and empower other people through your journey. I think that's part of the life lesson. I think that's part of the life experience. I'm sorry, part of the life journey. I think that's all a big part of it. So I'm happy to share mine with you all. I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope your holiday season is going very well. I appreciate you all for tuning in, taking the time to hang out with me while I, you know, work on the M3, do the oil change. Pretty cool. As mentioned, the Stelvio QV has got some things that need to be done to it as well. So there will be content happening with the Stelvio QV. And I'll just say this: Alpha didn't get a lot of nods. Absolutely got zero nods at SEMA. There was no representation. That's changing here in the near future. Hopefully, 2025, a huge difference in what that looks like. So we'll see. Until then, y'all make sure you show up for yourself, love yourself. You got to do it for you before you do it for anybody else. And in the meantime, y'all know what to do. Keep driving. Salute.